Hey guys, welcome back to another exciting episode of Is It Wrong? And today my special guests are, I don't know whether to say they're LA bound or Germany bound, but I got the band Wings of Steel. How you guys doing?
Doing great. Thanks for having us on, my friend.
I like that. You guys both like simultaneously like, oh. Hey, since we're talking about, this is something funny. You know, I'm in a Christian band, right? And we're all about, what's up, rock and roll, right? I get asked all the time, why the devil horns? I'm like, that's rock and roll, man. You know what I'm saying? Isn't that what it is, rock and roll?
It is. It means long live rock and roll. Isn't that right?
There you go. There you go. Too many people read into it too much. But anyways, I like to do these little icebreaker deals. So I'm going to ask you guys a few questions, all right? We'll start with Parker first. All right, Parker, hot or mild?
Hot or mild? What are we talking? Like salsa? Like chicken?
Food, yeah. Food.
You know, here's my thing with spice, man. I'm not afraid of spicy food, but you know what? Like, there's a fine line. If the food is so spicy that I can't taste the food, it's too spicy. You know? I think if it's good and it's adding to the flavor and it's like building the character of the dish and it's really bringing things out, I love spicy, man. So
good answer, bro. Good answer. Leo? Same question.
Oh, you know, I love spicy food, and I get it from my dad. You know, he'll be eating spice to an extent where he'll put like paper tissues on his forehead and they'll stick, and he'll just sit there and continue eating it. You know, but for me, I love eating it, and the paper tissue will stick on me as well. But my stomach can't handle that shit.
Oh yeah.
So I gotta like dial it back a little bit.
Yeah. I guess
but, yeah.
I'm a hot guy. I like it hot. I like it real hot. But I'm used to it, you know, so what might be hot to me might not be hot, might be too hot for you guys, you know, or vice versa. You never know. My wife tells me I'm crazy. We'll try something and I'll be like, she'll do that and she'll be like, oh my gosh. I'm like, I don't even taste it. You know, so I like hot. I like really hot. Some of my friends are like, you don't even taste the food. I do. I taste the food. All right, next question.
Sorry, I got to ask you a question, though.
Yeah.
What's the spiciest thing you ever had?
Them little Korean peppers. Have you ever eaten one of those? They're about that big, and they're so freaking hot, bro. You guys have never had those? Shit. Parker's like, I didn't even know they existed. Look it up, dude. They're these little tiny Korean peppers, and they're so freaking hot. To me, they're hotter than like a habanero. I mean, habaneros, I eat habanero sauce all the time. It's nothing, you know, but the little Korean peppers are hot, man. If you ain't tried them.
Did you have something to help you out, get past that, like milk or bread or whatever they say is good for that?
Milk, they say, is good, but you take some Triactin. You know what Triactin is? Triactin like a man. I actually got I got that from Larry Worley, our guitar player.
That's good.
Oh shit, okay.
Yeah, I called him one day. I'm like, hey Larry, we're talking, and he's like, what's the matter? I'm like, I don't know, it's too hot or whatever. He goes, dude, have you taken your Triactin today? I'm like, what the heck is that? He's like, Triactin like a man.
Oh my god.
So I stole it from
Larry doing?
Dude, Larry's doing great. In fact, right now, so you know he's also in Warrior and he's in Fear Not. I don't know if you knew that or not. There's another band called Fear Not that he's in. They're actually Sacred Warrior. We're playing at this festival we're playing with a band called Pillar. Don't know if you heard of them. And then the following week or two, Fear Not is playing at this place called Immortal Festival. Immortal Fest 1, it'll be the fourth one, but it's two parts. So Fear's Not's playing one, and then Sacred Warrior, we're playing the second one. So all these guys are in Oklahoma right now, and they're rehearsing. They're probably rehearsing right now. We should call them and give them a hard time.
Absolutely, man. I know this is a podcast. You're supposed to ask this question and stuff, but how's stuff going with Sacred Warrior, man? You got plenty of shows coming up, or how's it looking like?
Look, man, you want to run the podcast? I'm supposed to be asking the questions.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, it's not a typical podcast.
No, it's not. No, I'm playing with you. No, this is good. No, you know what? We got some shows coming up. We were talking to a guy about coming back to Germany again. And also, I don't know if you guys ever heard of Bob Fest. Pastor Bob Beeman, he puts it on in Sweden. He interviewed me on a podcast recently, and I told him, hey, we need to go do that. He said, I'll get you guys in Sweden 2024. You know, so we're going to be doing that. I mean, it's not set in stone yet, but I think it's a pretty good festival. And then we got a couple.
Bob's Fest?
Yeah, it's called Bob Fest. B-O-B.
Okay, I'll have to look that one up.
Yeah. I think he's changing the name of it. I can't remember what he's going to change it to, but it'll be fun, man. But what would be really cool is if Warrior and Wings of Steel could do some shows together. I love you guys, man. We loved you guys. Never seen y'all before, and then watch you guys live and just like. What's funny is when we met you guys at Keep It True in Germany, right? Keep It True. Yeah. We walk into the dressing room. We're like, yeah, this is pretty cool. And then all these dudes come out of like, what's the shower room? And it was all you guys. And I'm like, wow. I'm thinking, let me see. Is that Judas Priest? Who is? You guys got a real cool look. And you guys are a cool bunch of guys, man. We loved it, you know. And this is why we're on together right now, because we thought you guys were cool as heck, man. Just meeting you guys from day one, you know. But yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. All right, one more question: the mountains or the beach? I had a bunch more, but we'll get beyond that.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and say the mountains, man.
I'm gonna go with the beach, man. I'm gonna go with the beach. But you know where I live in California, I'm in Thousand Oaks, which is like just north of LA. For me to get to the beach, I actually drive through the mountains.
Oh, that's nice.
So for me, they're like they're kind of inseparable.
Yeah, you're getting the best of both worlds.
But
which is really cool.
I'll go with the beach.
Yeah. So for me, it's weird for us. We live by the beach. I got a boat, so we love the beach. But it seems like whenever we're going on vacation somewhere, we're hitting the mountains, and I'm like, man, I love this, you know. But I still would rather live by the beach, you know, because you can't drive your boat in the mountains, obviously, you know. But there's, you know, you got to have the best of both worlds or whatever.
Oh yeah, they're both great. They're both beautiful. They both have their own beauty, and they're both things that they bring, you know.
Yeah, man.
Any scenery or element that makes you feel small is just awesome, man.
Yeah, dude, it's amazing because your surroundings is really where you get your emotions from, whether it be at a show, your surroundings with the audience. You know what I'm talking about, or you're in the mountains, or you're in the water, or you know. But it's a great thing. But so listen, I did a little bit of research on you guys because I really didn't know you guys prior to this, and you guys are a fairly new band. I think you guys only started in 2019.
Pretty much, actually. I mean, we're really. I mean, it's always been tough for me and Leo to kind of figure out when the band started, because we met in 2019, and I mean the band is basically just a product of our musical. Our writing music and all that stuff. But our first single didn't come out until 2022. So nobody except for my parents knew of the band's existence until 2022. So,
oh, really? Yeah. And I read that was when your first full length album came out, right?
In 2022 we did our EP. Okay. There. And then in 2023 we did the first full length album.
Nice.
So, those right there is just so he won't forget, you know.
Yeah.
That's okay. You see, I got the banner behind me, so I don't forget what band I'm in. So I've been in 3 bands: Sacred Warrior, Worldview, and Deny the Fallen. I'm currently actually still active in Worldview and Sacred Warrior. And Deny the Fallen was we did an album. We were in the middle of doing another album, and then we had this crisis with our guitar player, but. That was more like Disturbed meets Avenged Sevenfold kind of. It was a lot different for what we do now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It was, yeah, it was. But again, we did one album. We did only a handful of shows, you know. But you know, for me, the main thing is Warrior, man. We're doing so much right now, and I know Worldview, we're working on another record, and that's going to come out, and that'll do really well as well, you know. But anyways, this is not about me.
I would love if you could send me some of that stuff after, because I would love to hear your voice on that too, on that type of music.
Oh yeah,
I'll blow all kinds of smoke up your ass, man. I love you vocally, dude. You sound fucking amazing. So it'd be really cool to hear your voice on top.
Thanks,
of
bro.
music.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate you too, bro. I sing about right here, and you sing like about right here. You get way up there, man.
Let's just call it a you thing, man. You know.
Yeah. How old are you?
I'm 27.
27. Parker, how old are you?
22.
20. Oh wow, you're young, bro. Okay. All right. So let's talk about the first EP, man. Who did most of the writing? You guys both did the writing, or one of you guys? Leo wrote it all, and Parker. How'd you guys come about doing that first record?
I mean, I would say the music as a whole is written collaboratively. Between me and Leo.
Rewind that.
Let's see that in an instant replay.
We're gonna rewind this. Okay, go.
The music is written collaboratively between me and Leo. Although I will say, like, I have about as much influence over the lyrics as he does on my guitar solos. So there's also that.
Yeah.
I mean, we still, you know, sometimes I'll play in a solo. I'm like, I can't figure out this. He's like, try this. I go, okay. And then he's writing lyrics. And I'm like, no, change this word here. Tweak this little melody. So, you know,
Doesn't make sense. You tweet. Get your grammar correct.
Yes, exactly.
Hey, but is it kind of hard for you guys? Because you're in LA and Leo's in Germany. Are you guys doing like a Zoom meeting, or are you sending him music? You sending your lyrics, or you guys get together? How does that go?
We get together when we write the music. I mean, I will also say, and I'm sure you're in tune with this as well. It's like the creative process is a never ending thing. You know, you're always coming up with riffs and ideas and stuff. So even though there's the geographic distance, whenever Leo and I get together, we basically, you know, take some of those ideas that we've had that we're really stoked on, and then we just kind of put it together, and it becomes Wings of Steel.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So who does most of the traveling? You guys take turns, or?
Usually Leo comes out here to LA because we can stay here for free. We have a place to record and all that stuff. So that's how we've been doing it. But
can I bring my band over there, bro? Stay for free, place to record.
Well, it's not
right.
It's not really that glamorous. I mean, I record the guitars right here where I'm sitting.
Oh, that's cool.
And then long story short, where I live with my parents here, where my parents' house was built in the 60s, like the track. It was built, I think, like 61 or something like that. So this is like in the middle of like the Cuban Missile Crisis and all that stuff.
Oh, wow.
Like, you know, everybody was super paranoid about nuclear war. So a lot of the houses in this track here were built with like little bomb shelters.
Really?
Yeah. So I think many years ago, my parents renovated the backyard, and they I guess the previous owner of the house had just kind of like filled it in, but they found a bomb shelter here.
How's it going, guys? So we out here in the studio today, and I don't know if you look down, I got these gnarly ass boots on, but also there's about 2 inches of water in here. So this happens a couple times every year. It's no big deal, nothing's damaged, but you know, all I do is I take this squeegee thing here, we got like a pump, and I just go like that, you know, and eventually all the water gets out of here. So it's no big deal, but I figured it's kind of funny. It'd be cool to share with you guys the state of affairs in the studio where all the Wings of Steel vocals and other stuff gets recorded. Yeah.
So they cleaned out all the dirt, and then they had it sitting there, and it wasn't really doing anything. So then fast forward to 2020, Leo and I were living together at shitty little apartment in Hollywood, and it's not really a great place to record vocals. Not just because of the neighbors, but also because like the room.
It wasn't a great place to live. Period.
Yeah. So
yeah.
So basically, we went down there and we kind of we put all the. It was funny. We did like several trips to Home Depot. We got all like the carpet foam or whatever that you just usually put.
Oh yeah.
And then we put that up on the wall, so the room was like treated well, and that's where we record all the vocals and everything. So
and then we named the bomb shelter the Bomb Depot. So
yeah.
The Bomb Depot. Yeah. Very well.
Bomb Depot, actually.
Yeah, Depot. Yeah, because everything in there came from Home Depot, right? Hey, there's nothing wrong with that, man. Nothing wrong with that. Heck. What about you, Leo? You got a good rehearsal space over there, or no?
Not really rehearsal space. You know, I have my vocal lessons that I do on the side. So I have like a little setup. I have my mic. I have like a keyboard. I have guitars and stuff like that. So I have enough to keep myself entertained and write stuff and conduct my lessons and stuff like that. But no set like studio or anything.
Oh, right.
But
so you're a vocal. No, go ahead, Parker.
I will note on Germany though. So when we went out there to do the tour that we just did, we through like a mutual friend, we found a place to rehearse. It was like this old like t-shirt factory or something. It's like maybe like 50 minutes away from where Leo's at in Germany. And so that was kind of a fun place to rehearse.
That is cool.
The room itself was normal, but then you go outside and like outside of the room, and then there's like all these like mannequins, and it's like,
oh dude, it was creepy.
Oh wow, you should have done a video in there, man.
Everywhere. The mannequins, the Polish construction workers, man. They had
Leo,
everything.
Think about it. You guys could have made a killer video there, man.
Yeah. You would have seen true fear in my eyes for sure. I wouldn't have to make that up.
So you're scared of spiders, then, is what you're saying? And mannequins.
Dude, there was some huge ass spiders and like this big, man. They got huge spiders in Germany, man. I think it's the humidity, man. I think it's really humid in Germany. I think big spiders like humidity. I'm not an expert, but that's my theory.
Hey, that's your theory, and you're sticking with it, right? Oh man, that's great. Hang on a second here. Doing I like throwing these little banners in there, you know.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
Hey, yeah, man. But so how did it come about where you two guys are doing all the writing? You guys are basically the band, right? How'd you get a full group of guys to do these tours with you? And are these guys old friends or just hired guns or what?
Yeah, well, you know, at some point we're two guys who really wants to play live, you know,
right?
And we've been writing music. We'd spent all this time, and at some point you got to hit the road, you know. And
yeah,
sure, we did all the writing, and the connection that me and Parker have is truly something special. I think it comes out in the music as well. But obviously, you need members to play live. We just put out a post the other day that we don't do like, you know, we're not a big fans of doing like backing track personally for our bands and stuff like that. You need musicians to back up whatever it is you record. Yeah. So we had some friends that we met in school who we hit up and we're like, yo guys, are you interested in, you know, helping us out doing these shows? And they dig the music and yeah, let's do it. So we did 3 shows in LA prior to our tour that we saw you guys on. And yeah, we didn't end up going with all the same guys to Europe. There's actually 2 people in Europe that we did auditions with coming out here. So we auditioned them. Wow. They did really well. We met them here for the first time, had like 4 rehearsals or something. And I think they killed it, you know, they did a great job. So it's been kind of an interesting process, you know, the fact that when we came out to Germany, we'd only ever played 3 live shows as Wings of Steel. So it was kind of like, you know, here you go, here's the cliff, there's the edge, boom, let's see what happens, you know. And,
wow.
It turned out great.
Yeah, you know what? From looking from an outside point of view, I would never know that. I would never know that it wasn't a whole band. You know, because like I said, when I started doing research on you guys, it only mentions you 2. And then I'm like, I know they had a whole band. Then when I spoke to you, I'm like, who are the members of the band? You said me and Parker. I'm like, all right, that's cool. It works, man. You know, if you can get guys on such short notice, it's like a fighter, man. Hey, you want to take this fight? This guy canceled out, you know, sink or swim, you know, you prepare and you do it, you know, and just, I keep referring back to Todd LaTorre because him and I had a great conversation too. But he was telling me this is what happened with him with Queensryche. You know, he met one of the guys, and through a series of events, they're like, "Send me a tape with something you can do, Queensryche wise, and an original." And he sent them that, and then it was like, "All right, well, come on, you're in." You know, no no audition, no. It was just send me something. You know. Then he went. He got there. He was in front of all these guys freaking out. He's like, man, these guys, I grew up watching these guys, you know, and they're like, all right, name a song you want to sing. And they tell him and he sings it. And it's like, wow. So it's like that. You get guys and you say, all right, here's your audition. Here's what I want you to do. And you listen to them, you watch. And if you like it, you're like, all right, let's go, you know, and it's good that you can do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think that was kind of the story here. Absolutely. I think it's cool that you can do that based on your individual professionalism and abilities as a musician. You can enter the same stage and actually sound good straight off the bat, right? But then the magic doesn't really happen until you've played enough shows together and you've built up that unspoken kind of bond between the musicians in the band. And it's not only through the music, it's also on a personal level, you know, which is another huge thing. We met with these guys. We didn't know them. You know, we'd had like 2 Skype calls with them or something like that. And well, they're great people, you know, and we like to think that good things happen to good people. So we were very fortunate to be in a situation where it didn't only work out from a musical sense, but also from a personality standpoint.
Yeah, no, that's good, man. And so you said you changed a couple of times for this last little tour.
So initially we had a lineup out here in LA. But what happened was the bass player and the drummer's actually the guy who plays on the records too.
Oh, cool.
But they, because of work and other endeavors, they weren't. And I mean, to be fair, you know, it's kind of hard to drop everything and go to Europe for like 2.5 months. So
not everyone wants to get pushed off that cliff.
Yeah, man.
It was a lot to ask, but we had our rhythm guitar player from that initial lineup, Mr. Stefan John Bailey. He came along with us, but then we basically just had we had Matt, the bass player, and Marcel, the drummer, meet us in Europe. It came together from there. And I mean, I will add to this too, you know, and it's like Leo touched upon. I think it's when you have the same, and you know this really well too, you know, when you have the same group of guys and you're able to go out and you play a lot of shows, like the chemistry builds and you get really tight, and it's just like it's really, really amazing, you know. So we really want to try to have a solid group of 5 dudes that we're out there with. But I mean, it's also a balancing act where, you know, people got to work and they got to survive. You know, people have other projects. And then also in our instance, you know, half the band being from Europe, it's very difficult for Europeans to get proper visas and all that stuff sorted out so that they can come to the US and play. So that's kind of some of the obstacles that we're faced with it. But this promoter that puts on that festival that we're going to be playing at, he was trying to get Narnia out here, but they're having issues getting their visas. You know, I'm like, wow, okay, I don't get that. But hey, so if you guys don't mind, tell me if you don't want to talk about this, but you guys did a 3.5 month tour. Let's talk about funding. I mean, you guys all work, you guys getting paid decently on these shows, or is it a thank you, have a nice day kind of deal? And you know what I'm saying? Because that's for a group of guys like you guys to get some guys from Europe and to go through a 3.5 month tour, whatever it was. It's kind of like, how is that? How are you guys making that happen?
Well, I can kind of start it off based on what we had going into it, and Parker can pick it up in terms of how we were able to sustain our stay and how that's been going. So going into it, you know, this has all been funded by myself and Parker, pretty much, you know, coming from our own pockets. So we're lucky to have to live in a situation, you know, Parker, he lives at home with his parents. Right. It's the only way to do it. I live with my girlfriend here. I'm not really able to pay any bills. I'm kind of freeloading, of course, with a bunch of love in my heart. But so everything that we've had up to this point, we've put into the band. And then we've just tried to make clever investments so that money will come back into the band and build successively. And so that's what we did. And we used that capital to invest for, you know, bringing members on tour and putting everything together ourselves. And it costs a lot of money. You know, maybe you have to take a loan, maybe you have to go into the pocket a little bit, but you know, you got to trust your process. You got to trust your own investments based on what you've seen. So that's kind of what we had going into it. And then maybe you can take it from there.
Well, yeah, I mean, to give you maybe an overview of the scope of things. So our band is independent. We're not tied in with the label. We do everything ourselves. So, you know, on one hand, it's I mean, you would think that, okay, well, that sucks because you don't have a label helping you out. But on the other hand, it's also great because it means that all the revenue that comes from our music, with all the streaming, but most importantly, like the CD and vinyl sales, which had totally carried us, we get all that money. So going into this tour, we had actually from the last album that we did, we had actually done pretty well with it financially. I mean, we're not rolling in stacks of cash, but like we didn't owe any money, and like you know, we had a little bit extra left over, so it was from a financial standpoint, it was comfortable for us to take on. But when we went and also doing the tour, like we were able to spend so much time out there because we were able to stay with Leo and his girlfriend, so we didn't have to pay for a hotel every single night that we were there, and like that helped out a lot too. But really going into the tour, we were like, okay, we've never played these places before. We're a pretty new band. Like, you know, we'll be stoked if like 10 people come to the show. But we were totally blown away with the response that we got and how many people turned out and how many people bought merch and did all that stuff. And that was I mean, just that alone was like, that was awesome. But it was also great too, because from the business end of things, like we made our money back, and we're in a great situation after it. So it all really worked out well. Yeah.
I followed you guys around, Leo posting stuff almost, I don't know, every other day or something. And here's this crowd and here's that crowd. And me again, as an outsider, I'm like, man, I'm proud of them guys, man, because you and I had spoken, Leo. And I said, who booked this tour? And you said, well, I did. I just made a bunch of phone calls and contacted people and this. And then you get in these shows. And then, like Parker said, we'll be happy if 10 people showed up. And it seems like you had hundreds at every show, you know. And when you put on the kind of performance like you guys do, you're fun to watch visually. You get all into it. And I told Leo, I'm going to take my shirt off like he does. I don't know. Maybe we'll get better crowds. I don't know. I would say, is it wrong? Yeah, it's very wrong. It's very wrong. But it's cool because you guys, you draw the people, you make that connection. You know, one of my biggest things is I hate when you go watch a band live and you just sit there and you're like, I could have got the same thing just listening to the record. Nobody moves. Everybody's just like, you know, people don't want that. They want the show. They want the visuals. They want the hype. You know what I'm saying? And you guys, from watching you guys, Wings of Steel, you guys put that out. You know, you guys are very energetic. There's a Christian band that I love. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Chaotic Resemblance. They resemble you guys. They're all a bunch of long-haired guys and very energetic and stuff. And they get it done too, man. People love these guys. And the great thing about them, halfway through their show, they'll stop and they'll preach the gospel. And it's just great, man. But they have that. People get caught up into them. You know, and you guys have that. When people come see you guys, they're like, yeah, you're drawn in. You know, that's what'll keep you guys going, because the minute y'all get boring, people aren't going to, you know, they're not going to buy your CDs. They're not going to buy your merch, which, by the way, you guys have some killer merch. I was looking at your stuff on your website. Love this. Who does all your merch? Who does all your design work?
So we got a tattoo artist, actually. He's out here in
really
where I'm at. Yeah. Spencer Caligiuri. I can never say his last name, but
it's been 2 years. We still can't pronounce his last name. It's horrible.
But he's a totally awesome dude. And I mean, basically how our working relationship started with him is we needed to get the design for that one, the first EP. And so, you know, we figured instead of like scavenging the internet and trying to find somebody, it's like, well, you know, there's a bunch of tattoo artists out here. Why don't we just, you know, look around and see who's out here? So just looking at some of the local places out here, we came across Spencer. We saw his stuff, and I mean, he's a great tattoo artist, but what he really does is he's awesome at painting.
Oh yeah,
that's his real that's his thing. So I mean, seeing all his work and stuff, we're like, okay, I think this guy has the capability to do what we need to do.
Yeah.
So
I remember specifically, sorry Parker for interrupting, I remember specifically coming across one picture that had like this whole nature landscape. It had the elements of, you know, good and evil, heaven and hell, and it had like it had some animal. I can't remember if it was a horse, but it might have been an eagle. Both of which is something that's being featured in, you know, our artworks. You know, we were like, all right, well, this could very well be the guy. Let's go there. Let's talk with him. Let's present the idea. And once again, it turns out this is a really cool guy. You know, it's not just the art; it's the personality behind it. It's the soul behind it. You know, and it really comes through.
Yeah, and you know what's neat? My son, one of my sons, I have 5 sons and 1 daughter. One of my sons, he does some of my artwork. You know, he's a tattoo guy. He's such an incredible artist. I've noticed that guys who do tattoos have a mind. They're like visionaries, man. He does some stuff. I'm just like mind blowing, man. You know, I'm like, where do you even think of this stuff from? You know, and it's like, and you know, humbly, I don't know. I just draw, you know, and it's great, man. So that's really cool. But you guys have some great stuff, man, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's something very special, especially when the artists themselves say, I don't know what it is. I don't really think about it. That's usually when it's very special, you know, because it just comes. It's just there, right? And it's kind of a tall order, too, because when you really value your music and you want to find the visual represented for the music, it can't just be anything. I couldn't draw it up. I mean, I've tried. Parker tried. We're not good at it, and we have proof. But there are people out there who I think you're supposed to meet at some point during your life, you know, and this is one of those guys for sure. And we've been fortunate to meet a couple of those people along the journey. That's awesome. Which it's not only due to me and Parker that things are where they're at today. It's due to everyone around us that we've been fortunate enough to meet and build these relationships with. Yeah,
man. Yeah. The story behind some of your songs, personal things going on in your lives, or just an idea off the cuff, or want to run me through a couple of them?
So I think the meaning behind most of our songs, it's a broader thing, right? There are a couple of songs that are a little more specific to the point where you can pick up that there's some kind of a storyline going on here and you can relate to it one way or another. But I think the big thing that we want to do with our lyrics is we want to give everyone kind of a safe passage to go through where they can identify with multiple aspects of what's going on in the story. So it's not normally a specific story, but it's more so a broader theme that
right
themselves make up their own story around.
Yeah.
And I would say to an extent, I mean, that's really how, you know, we really try to write music. We don't, you know, really the songs mean whatever they mean to the listener. And I think that, that relationship they have is personal, and it's the most, you know, we don't want to just say, okay, this song, black and white, it's about this, you know, it's about however you want to feel. I mean, it's actually, I just came to mind now, there's back in, I think, the mid 80s, there was like that whole thing where everybody was like, oh, heavy metal is Satanist or whatever, and there was like that big hearing, like the
backward mass.
Yeah, and there's D. Snyder was like one of the people who was like kind of defending it or whatever, and like this is basically exactly what he says, and you know, he sums it up great, is that, you know, these songs are not about Satan and all these darker topics necessarily, you know, it's about whatever the listener chooses to interpret them as. Right.
So really no agenda behind them. It's you writing what you're feeling, you know.
Exactly, you know, and we try to let there be a lot of depth. If you want to just see what's on the surface, it's cool. If you want to go a little bit deeper, that's cool. If you want to get all the way to the bottom, you'll find it too. So that's kind of in an overall nutshell. That's how.
Right. Do you have a favorite song, Parker? Probably many of them, right?
I
love them all, right?
They're like your kids, man. You know, all your songs are like your kids, you know, and they all bring something special. I mean, of course, you know, I personally am biased and I have my tastes. I mean, all the songs that have like a really, really like long and epic guitar solo. I mean, I try to make them all long and epic, but it's
imagine that.
I mean, the one I really love, Into the Sun on Gates of Twilight album. I really love Blackout the Street on the first EP. Rhythm of Desire, Liar in Love, Fall in Line, Lady of the Law. I mean, I love all the songs, man. I really do. It's hard for me to pick.
Yeah. I know for me, like I have a couple of Warrior songs that we have that are like, I think I like the best. But for me, it's not even the meaning behind them, because realistically, we're, like I said, we're a Christian band. Everything we're going to share from stage is about the gospel and, experiences that we've had and stuff. But for me, what makes a favorite song for me is one that I can really perform and really feel it. I mean, you feel everything, but there's some couple of songs that you're performing. You're just like, God, I love doing this song. You know what I'm saying? That to me is what a special favorite song for me is. What about you, Leo? Anything? Or
I agree with you, Ray, 100%. It's not about me. It was never about me. It's about the audience. It's about everyone in there. The songs where everyone comes to life, the songs where people are singing back, the songs where people are crying or laughing or going crazy, kissing each other, whatever they're doing, those are the songs that you feel, Not to say that I don't love all the songs. Musically, I love them all, right? The music is something deeper than just the instruments, just the vocals, just the guitar, just the bass. It's one whole thing that speaks larger than any one instrument. I think I can sum it up in one word. Community. There you go. Community, unity. Exactly. Yeah.
That's it, bro. Yeah, that's it, man. Exactly. Have you guys, tell me about some of the people you guys have met on the road. I know we met you guys and we talk about you guys all the time. I mean, other than us hanging, tell me a little bit about some of the special people you guys have met out there.
Well, I mean, I think for us, really, I mean, the thing that was so cool for us is that, I mean, ever since our first EP came out and we existed in the universe, digitally at least, a lot we've noticed that there's like in Europe especially, there's a lot of people. We had a lot of really diehard fans out there who were, buying our stuff and they're commenting on all of our posts and they're sending us messages and stuff. And so I mean, that's a long list of people, but it's just being able to finally go out there and play there and see these guys in the audience and meet them after the show. I mean, that was, I think overall that was like that was probably like the coolest thing that we got to do. And I mean, it's, not just the fans too, a lot of people like, Oliver from Keep It True and, a lot of these guys that we've been working with for, putting together the shows, or some people who we've been doing business with and all that. Like, it was really cool to finally, like, you can't replace meeting people in person.
Yeah, bro.
There's nothing like it. So
yeah,
I think in a nutshell, that's what I have to say.
Yeah, especially if you don't get a bunch of naysayers, right? Them guys, they're too old school or this or that. No, they're too old school, right? They sound great, and you meet people and you make good connections. I know for me, there was one guy, I met a lot of people, Olaf Becker and a bunch, but one guy that stood out to me that I met in Germany that I talk to all the time, his name is Ari. I don't know if you guys know Ari, but I recognize this name a lot. Hang on. I think I know this person. Yeah. You probably know who it is.
I think he came to another one of our shows.
So, he did. He told me he did. Yeah. Yeah. He told me he did. And what he said to me,
conversation with that dude, man.
Dude. What he said to me, he goes, the show that I saw was, what was the word? He goes, unbelievable or incredible or something. Just like mind blowing, I think is what he said. But that dude right there, he's hardcore. Everybody in Germany that I met, hardcore. They love their music. But this guy, he reached out to me. We talk all the time. He comments on my podcast, on my posts, and he's a cop. And I know the big time difference and stuff, but we talk all the time. See, that to me, there's a guy that I never met before that I think I created a good bond with, and he's in another country. That's a big part of it too. You make friends, and like with you guys, I think we're going to be friends forever, and you got to have that, man. You support each other, and that goes back to the whole community thing. Yeah, we're out there doing our thing. We come out with a message, but we also come out to make friends and meet people and make lifelong friendships, you know, and stuff like that. But
you know, music, live shows, it just helps you get past so much of the stuff.
My God, it sure does.
Exactly. So when you meet these people, you're already on such a good level, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a great example. I remember talking with him, and we were talking about you, Ray, actually, and we were talking about how great a guy you are, and how we were both very fortunate to meet you along our paths. You know?
Thanks, man.
And there's been a lot of people like that. There's been a few examples this tour where there's been a person or two coming up, and they're you know, they don't have the greatest past. You know, they've gone through some shit. They went through a lot just to get to the show, but there was something deeper that spoke to them and that brought them out there. And that you know, 5, 10, 20 minutes after the show, just talking means so much. Then it means so much to us as well, you know.
Yeah, man.
None of us is perfect. We've all had our fair shit in life, one way or another.
Yeah.
But if we haven't, I can promise you will come at some point. You know.
So
it's really cool to connect, not only with the happiness, but all kinds of emotions. You know.
Yeah.
And I mean, and I think it's like what you touched upon there, Ray. Like, I think it's so crazy that, like, you know, I could be here. I come from California, and we can go to Germany, and you can go and like meet people, and it's like totally, you know, I mean, it's not that big of a difference, but still, like, there's people. It's not just Germany; it's all over the world. You know, when we look at our YouTube and our streaming and everything, there's people in every corner of the globe who are checking out our music, and like,
yeah, man,
that's like so crazy, and it's so cool to like have that. You know, you have that thing in common with people all over the planet. I think that's just. You know, that's so special. And I mean, you know, nowadays, I'm not going to talk about politics, but, you know, nowadays people are very divided. You know, we got all kinds of different cultures and religions and stuff that are kind of at each other's throats. And I think, you know, the fact that there's this thing, there's this music, there's this community that people can kind of like, you know, we can all just come together as one on is it's incredible, man. It's really so it's, and when you go on tour and you know, you really see that. So
yeah, we may not have the same beliefs, but we can still be friends. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I mean, you know,
absolutely. But we may not have the same beliefs, but it's all rooted in love, and we sure as
absolutely,
that, you know,
absolutely, man.
That's what we're all here for.
Yeah. No, I love it, man. I love it. I was gonna ask you guys something. So Leo, this is for you. Were you always in Germany, or did you live in the States and then you moved to Germany, or how did that? What happened there?
So I'm actually born and raised in Sweden.
Really?
Yeah, in Stockholm. So since I was born up until the age of 7, I lived in Stockholm, and I moved out to this island southeast of mainland Sweden. Sits in the Baltic Sea. It's called Island. It's called Gotland.
Island.
I was going to say island called Island.
It's called Island.
That's creative, right?
I know, right? It's called Gotland. So I lived there. It's a pretty isolated place. I think that largely due to that is why I then moved out to LA when I turned 21 to pursue music, right? Which is where I met Parker. Spent some time there.
Was that in prison you met him, or?
No.
No, I'm kidding, man. I'm kidding.
And so spent some time in LA, started going back and forth, Sweden, LA, student visa, tourist visa, whatever. Met my girlfriend. She lives in Germany. So now I stay here when I'm not in LA. I'm not with Parker.
And how long has that been? That you've been in Germany full time?
Well, I actually just moved out here quite recently. It hasn't been more than, I want to say, like half a year.
Okay. Okay, and you like it over there better than in the States, or?
I don't know if I necessarily have a preference. You know, I like it here. I like it in the States too. It all kind of depends on what it is I'm doing, who I'm around. You know. There are things to, if we're talking about like nations, there are things to like, things to dislike about each and every nation.
Oh yeah, man. Even America.
It's not really about that. Yeah. I don't feel like I belong to a nation. You know, that's not where I come from. It's something else. You know.
Yeah.
So I like it here. I like it in Sweden. I like it in America. All for different reasons.
Yeah. Only in America. I've been dying to say that. Oh man. So dude, it's kind of neat how, you know, before I started this podcast, I'm a talker. I like talking, right? And I had people tell me, man, you ought to start a podcast. I'm like, what do I want to start a podcast for? They're like, so you can talk to people and stuff, I'm like, all right, so I'll try. And I tried it, and I'm enjoying it, and I'm getting it. Other than me reaching out to you for this podcast, I'd probably never call you, even though I thought you're cool dudes. You know what I'm saying? So this is a great open door for me to be able to reach out to people and kind of get, to know people's hearts and to let other people know about you guys. And well, not just you, but anybody that I interview and stuff. But I love it, man. I really enjoy. I enjoy having a conversation, with people and not having really, again, an agenda, even with my podcast, just to get people to know people. You know what I mean? But are there any? So this goes both ways. You guys ever prank each other on anything? Are you guys cut ups, or is it all business, always business, always business? No, I see Leo smirking over there. Must be something. I like asking this because I just like people to know what's going on.
I don't think we take anything too seriously. I
think that's the key. What you said right there. When you start taking things too serious, man, you lose touch with what it's all about, especially in a field like music. In any arts aspect. Yeah. Any funny stories like in the studio or anything? I got one I'll share with you guys. It was funny as heck. When we did our first record, my cousin Ben, he was our manager, right? So, you're young, you don't really know what's up, and we're in the studio and we're recording our first album. And we had blocked the studio off for like 3.5 months. And he's there with us, and he fell asleep on the couch with his arms crossed like this. Well, unbeknownst to him, we duct taped him to the couch all the way around, right? And he slept and slept and slept. And then when he finally woke up, he's like opened his eyes, and he's looking at us, and he's like, and we're all laughing at him. He's like, what? And we're just laughing. Then he goes to get up. He's like, oh, I'm going to kill you guys. It was so, what he didn't realize, he was duct taped for like 2 or 3 hours and didn't even know it. And then he woke up. You get that on tape?
Man, no. I hate to say this with us before camcorders. No. No. we used to do so many. We've always been cut ups, and we done some stuff that you should not do to people.
I think we've used all our duct tape for the walls down in the bomb shelter, man. Because there is this chance, every time we go down there, all of a sudden you might start hearing, the sound like someone's taking a piss behind you, but it's actually the wall like starting to leak and stuff like that.
Well, it appears the damn ceiling is leaking. And this is probably about as much water as I've ever seen here, ever. Holy Jesus. Look at all that, man. You can go surfing in here. Holy shit.
Oh, so, man. Sometimes, man. It's not properly sealed off from the ground, so when it rains, man, it just, the walls.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, I'd love to see what that looks like. I'm sure a lot of my viewers would like to see what it looks like in a bomb shelter. Who's ever been in a bomb shelter? I haven't,
It's not that exciting, man, but it's funny. It's funny, but it's it also goes to show, man, like, especially because, Leo and I, we're not just the musicians, man. We do everything. We do, we run the label, and we manage everything. And it's like, you would, when I was a 10-year-old kid and I was like, all right, I want to go, this is what I want to do. I was not expecting to be like, pumping water out of the bomb shelter and getting back to 1 million emails and doing all this other kinds of stuff.
Wait. 1 million emails? Come on, man.
Maybe not 1 million, but it feels 2 million sometimes.
Yeah, 2. There you go. Speak it into existence, right?
The other million. No.
Yeah, 1 million of them are from Leo. Hey, man, so that's cool. No, but
where's the duct tape?
Yeah, exactly. But no, the cool thing about it is it may not look like much when we show the people this bomb shelter, but just the fact of knowing what it is and the history behind it, that's cool as heck. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's cool.
We had great times down there, man.
Yeah. I think it's cool to say that we've recorded heavy metal music in a bomb shelter. You know, I think it's more so, but it's not like it was something that we kind of went out of our way to do. It's just
right
part of the thing that we inherited with the situation. You know. So,
so here's a thought: why not write a song about the bomb shelter? But not say it's a bomb shelter, make people think it's about a girl. You never know. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Something really cool. Oh, that went south really quick.
Yeah. That's how we do it.
Oh man. Hey, so let's. What do you want people to say about Wings of Steel? As far as you know, people are already saying that you guys are a great metal band. You're playing old school stuff. If you wanted to be labeled as one kind of thing, now I know you wouldn't want to, but if there was one kind of label you would want put on you guys or about you guys, what would that be?
In terms of like genre?
No, just a label in general. You know, let me give an example. I can't give an example.
Well, here's what I'll say. If we're gonna really go deep with this, man, like I think you know, I mean, look, I'm wearing a Dio shirt. Sure, there's all the adjectives you can associate with Dio and his music and all that, but he's just Dio. You know?
Yeah, man.
Look at Black Sabbath, look at Led Zeppelin, look at Iron Maiden, look at Metallica.
Ozzy, all them guys, yeah.
Ozzy, yeah, you know, the list goes on, but it's, you know, when you think of these bands and stuff, you're not necessarily thinking about all the adjectives that describe these bands. You're thinking, oh, that's Ozzy, that's Maiden,
yeah.
You know, and I mean, I think that's you know, that's what we're looking to be. We're not trying to be somebody else. We're not trying to be this style or that or whatever. We're just Wings of Steel. You know,
yeah.
I think that's really what. If there's any label for us, you know, that's what we would want it to be.
Yeah, just a great group of young guys bringing out good music. You know, yeah, that's cool. Yeah. And the reason I asked that is because there's, you know, we talked about no agenda in your music and this and that, but there's so many bands that they have that image they want people to know about them. You know, it's, you know what I'm saying? And so with you guys, it's more same like with us. We just want people to say, man, that's a great band with a great bunch of dudes. You know what I'm saying? That's a label. That's a good label right there. You know, and there's more people that are looking for more than that. You know, so I guess why I'm asking is I want people to see the genuineness. I feel a genuineness about you guys. You know, you guys, you are what you say you are. Your music is what it is. You know, and I think that it's important for people to.
And you know, that's why it's so cool to be here as well. This is a great podcast. I think you're doing an excellent job. I'm proud of you, brother. I hope you keep this up for sure. We'll be back whenever you want us here.
Yeah, for sure.
But, you know, I guess another thing, you know, it shouldn't have to be more than just dudes playing music for the sake of music, and we love it, you know. But in a day and age like we live in today, when there's arguably more turmoil than there's been in like 80 years or something like that, you know, it also offers you a route where you can breathe for a second, you know, and you can express, and it's safe, right? Yeah, and it's like we said earlier, it's the unity, it's the community.
Yeah, man.
So at the end of the day, it's heavy metal and it's love. You know, that's what we want to. Every single show that we've ever done, we've ended with the statement: peace, love, and heavy metal, because that's what it's all about. So if I would put one label on it, it would be those three words.
That's great.
Yeah, I mean, really, that's, you know, our thing is we're not really, you know, we're not trying to push an image. We're not trying to push an agenda. There isn't really anything like that. It's really, I mean, our goal as a band is to play for and to share our music with as many people as possible. That's our goal, because it's, I mean, for us personally, and like, you know, we know everybody's at their own pace. They're on their own phase of their own journey in life. But, you know, music is just one of those incredible things where it, like, you know, you can reflect with it, and it's there with you. You know, it's always there with you. And I think it's you know, to take what has inspired us, to say that in our own way, and to share that with more people is it's the most incredible thing. And, you know, you get glimpses of it, you know, when when you put out a new album and people are telling you all, you know, how they feel about it, and when you go and you play live and you feel the energy and the response, like, it's just, you know, that's what it's about. You know, I mean, we're just doing it as we are, because this is who we are, and it's genuine, you know. And I think genuine stuff really speaks with people, and that's you know,
it does.
And this is how we want to do it. You know, Leo and I, we don't like rules. We don't like doing things, you know, the way that people told us to do. We want to do shit the way we want to do it, you know.
Yeah.
I think when we stick to that, and that's how we do it, it you know, it's the best. It's the most enjoyable, and it you get the best stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and
it really, if you could visualize it, that connection, that realism as you guys are on stage, when it's really there, it's, if you could see it, what I call spiritualize, if you could visually see it, it's like you can see it rolling off the stage into the audience. You know what I'm trying to say?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's such a real thing that people don't realize, man, you know? And that to me is true genuineness. When it's there and the people can feel it and it's just rolling right out, you know? And I love that, man. I love that. Any of these shows that you guys did on this last tour stand out as like your favorite show, and why? I know you guys did some great. There was one you did, I think, a couple shows after we did that Keep It True, which was outdoors, and it looks like there was crap load of people there.
Oh yeah, the Rock Hard Festival. Well, we did. I mean, here's the thing. Every show was just blew our minds. Like, it was the fact that we had that many people coming out. Everything was really, really special. And you know,
yeah, man.
Every show had its moments. Every show had its things. But I mean, some notable ones that I've been, you know, I talk about is we played in Paris. We had over, I think it was like 330 people come to our show in Paris. And I just remember, like, you know, being backstage and like the opening band was playing and just like hearing the crowd cheering, like it was like shaking the walls. I was like, holy shit. So, you know, we went out there and we played, and it was crazy, man. So that was that was really, really cool. I mean, to get out there on stage and there's a whole venue packed full of people to see you.
Yeah, man. There's
nothing like it, man. But I mean, also we played in Lille, another show in France. It was this nice theater. It was big. It was probably this one and the next one that we did after was like the biggest stage that we ever played. And like,
oh wow,
the sound that we got in there. And I mean, it was a crazy show too. That one was filled with people, but
yeah,
it was like just having that like sound and hearing the band at like, because when we record in the studio and we produce the music, you know, we produce it like kind of like, okay, what would this music sound like if it's being played in an arena with 10,000 people, you know?
Yeah, man.
When we finally got to like take that live sound and take it up from the club into like a bigger venue, and you really hear like the overtones and the reverb and the sound and everything, and that was just awesome. And then the show right after that, which was the Rock Hard Festival, was you know, it was the same thing, big amphitheater. You know, we're just out there and we're sound checking. I'm just hearing like the way the guitars and the band just like echoes throughout the thing. I'm like, this is.
And you guys headlined all them shows, right?
Well, we didn't headline the festival, but yes, the Paris and Lille too. Yeah, so that was cool too. We had
that's great.
Another cool thing I will say, at that Lille show, we had a private chef. So we had this guy back there. I mean, we got into the venue, I think like 3 or 4 p.m. And, you know, we're walking past the backstage, we walk past the kitchen. There's this guy back there. He's chopping up all these vegetables. And, you know, and we're just, you know, hey, man. And then, you know, we go down there a few hours later and he's got like this huge like spread for us, man. I was like,
wow,
this is the life, man. And the food was excellent, man.
Wow,
we were in France, so of course the food was good.
Oh, yeah, of course, man. Oh
yeah,
my
so that was
gosh,
really
man.
cool too.
That is really cool. Private chef. Usually we get, hey, Taco Bell's down the street, man. Go help yourself.
We had some of those moments as well.
That was really
man.
cool. Yeah.
That is now, Leo. You booked all them shows, right? You told me you just reached out to all these places.
Well,
pretty much,
me and Parker collectively booked.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But yeah. So it was. We didn't know we were going to have a private chef or anything like that. It was
right. So that wasn't in your rider, you know.
No.
Okay, gotcha.
Like, please get us some food. You know.
Yeah.
usually that turns into a pizza, but that was nice. Having good food when you're out like that is it's a godsend, man. It's great, you know. It's great.
Yeah. Here's a just a question for me, because me being an artist like you guys, do you guys eat before or after the show? What would you rather eat, before the show or after?
Both.
Oh, both.
I mean, it kind of depends. I mean, usually eat before. You don't want to eat like, you know, right before you go on stage. You don't want to feel like heavy or anything like that. But I mean, usually, and I know Leo, you know, from a vocalist especially, if you eat a bunch of dairy and stuff like that, like you don't want a bunch of mucus in your throat.
Yeah.
But usually, you know, like, you know, a couple hour and a half, 2 hours, 3 hours before, like it's great. You know, you want to have energy. You don't want to be up there and, you know, you're dying because your blood sugar is low or whatever.
Yeah, you're in a food coma up there.
Yeah.
Leo's tired now, but you could see him. Could you see him tired and in a food coma? He'd be like, ah.
Yeah. Oh, it's the guitar. I'm gonna go take a nap really quick.
yeah. Hey, Parker, do an extra long solo. I'm gonna go in the back and sleep for a minute. All right.
Well, that's the great thing about some of these smaller venues, man. I will say, because you know Parker has some really long guitar solos, and sometimes these sets can tend to be quite long. So if I do indeed need to take a piss, I do have the time for it. You know,
you do. You do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Parker's doing the P dance, man. I gotta play.
No, we get him in diapers. Life is good. But I can do a little crowd surf.
Shoot,
like,
man.
take me to the other side. You know, it's all good. How about you, Ray? How about you, Ray? From a vocalist standpoint as well, what do you eat before? What don't you eat before? Do you eat before?
So I do not eat afterwards, unless it's real early in the afternoon, but typically not till afterwards. For me, it's a lot different. I don't eat when I fly either. It's weird, man. I don't know. I'm kind of a little weird that way. You know, I don't know. Usually when we're flying somewhere, by the time we get there, I'm starving. Like when we flew, we went from Chicago to Ireland, and we did have a meal on there because we weren't going to play that night. But in Ireland to Germany, it was nothing, just drinks and stuff. But I typically don't eat before a show unless it's really early in the afternoon. You know, for me, because I don't know, the way I sing, much like you, Leo, I sing from my gut. I'm not all, you know, throat voice. So I'm pushing with my gut, and I feel like if I got food in there and all that, and the throat thing, I'm not a big milk guy. So, you know, that really dairy guy doesn't really bother me like that, because I don't eat it, you know, or drink it. But yeah, just I drink some hot teas, maybe a little honey, and you know, but so rehearsal, got a show coming up next week, let's say. How do you guys rehearse? You fly down to Parker in LA and rehearse, or you guys do it through Skype, or what do you guys do for rehearsals, or do you rehearse?
Well, we have, I mean, I guess we would likely rehearse wherever we're going to be playing. So like, let's, you know, next weekend we're playing in Germany again. Okay, well, I'd get my ass on a plane right now, and then we go out there, and then, you know, try to get a couple rehearsals. And I mean, really, you know, I think it's important to us that, you know, when we show up to the rehearsal, everybody knows their stuff already.
Absolutely.
Basically, all you're doing is looking for little kinks to fix, and then getting the transition and the fluidity of the show dialed in. You know, if you have to learn the songs in the rehearsal, then it's not, you know, what you're wasting everybody's time. So
absolutely,
that's a very important thing with all the guys that we play with, is that, you know, make sure you know your stuff before you play. But yeah, but it really just comes down to how much time we have. You know, we I have a lot of time to do it, you know, we'll do what we can. But yeah.
But part of that, I guess, the part of that question would be also is the chemistry, because if you're not rehearsing together, or very often, that chemistry is like, you know, when you got new people or this or that. You two probably have a phenomenal chemistry, but when you get new people and stuff, I mean, how does that work out? Like for us, Larry's in Oklahoma, I'm in Florida, and the rest of the guys are in Chicago, but we rehearse every week. You know, Steve, our bass player, has set it up so he's just, that guy's a freaking brainiac, man. I swear. He set it up where I can be singing here in my studio with the band playing, and I'm singing full voice with them playing, and they can hear me, but not my live voice. Because what I do is I send them stems of me singing the songs for the rehearsals. So they're listening to the recording. I'm listening to them live. So they're rehearsing to my voice. I'm rehearsing live with the band, and Larry's doing the same with his guitar. You know, and we could stop and talk, and it's crazy the way it works out. But it's like, so when we do go to Chicago before a show, it's like we've been rehearsing together the whole time. It's great, man. It just,
dude, that's really cool. It's cool you can do stuff like that.
Yeah,
at an age like this, it's really rad.
Yeah,
I think, you know, it is a little unfortunate. Like our situation, we make it work, but of course, we wish we could have rehearsed more, hung out more, because that chemistry needs to be developed over time. You can't cheat it in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
But I think what's very important when we do decide to go out and rehearse, like I said, last time we only got to rehearse 4 times. We made sure that half of those rehearsals look up. You know, we're no longer in our instruments. We're doing the show right now.
That's right.
So it's very important, because as long as you're here or wherever you are, you're not there. Right. You're not really in that chemistry to begin with, you know? Yeah. So I think it's important that you include those rehearsals as well, where it's beyond your own instrument at this point. Now it's the group. You know? Yeah. Yep. I used to coach flag football, and I used to always tell my boys, however you rehearse is how you're going to play. And I take that with the music, because the guys laugh at me, because in the vocal tracks that I sent them while we're rehearsing, if we're like, when we're getting ready for Germany, I'm throwing in the, all right, let me hear. I'm throwing that. So when we're rehearsing, they're hearing me do that, and I'm picturing me do that, because before, whenever we're going to go, I feel the crowd in my mind, and I'm like, okay, I know I got to work this crowd this way. So when I rehearse, I'm doing that in rehearsal. So it makes it more natural when I do it. You know what I'm saying? So it for me, that works great for me, you know. But like I said, the guys listen to the recording. Like I didn't make the rehearsal the other night. We're dealing with my father-in-law. He's in a home, not doing too well. But Larry called me. He's like, dude, we were all cracking up because you're doing all right, let me hear you, and this and that. He goes, and I wasn't there, but they were still cracking up, you know. But it's just building that chemistry and keeping it going, you know, and it's dude, it's really important to tap into that, you know. My practice at home is kind of interesting, because if I sit down to sing and I really try to do something, I'm not a fan of, you know, running scales and stuff like that as well. But it takes me out of the moment. Sure. So if I were to sit down and try stuff, I don't really do too well. I start thinking about all these things I never think about. Like, oh, that kind of feels weird. Like, why is this going on? And then I'm bummed. And then I'm not into the music anymore, you know? So whenever I'm practicing, either I'll throw on a tune that I really love that puts me in that space, and I'll just go for it. It's all good. Or I'll try and get in, you know, in my mind, I'm either on stage, or I'm really dialed in with the message of the song, or I'm singing it in a way that it's not originally sung or something like that, so that it keeps me in tune with what's beyond the performance of your voice, or I guess the guitar. I don't know, you know? Yep. No doubt. You guys got any future shows coming up anytime soon? Or are you working on stuff? Or
so right now the big ticket item on our agenda has been we're looking to do what we did in Europe here in the U.S. as well. So we still have to confirm all the dates and do all this stuff. But what we're looking to do is in end of November, early December this year. We're looking to hit the Southwest, so that'd be California, Arizona, Texas, and then next spring, probably say like mid March through May, we're looking to do the whole country. So we'll come, you know.
Well, Texas,
Florida,
I'm gonna
New York, everywhere. You know.
Yeah, yeah. I'm going to talk to the promoter that does Immortal Fest. He brings a lot of bands, secular bands, and pairs them up with Christian bands that sound like them. And it's really cool. That's how we met Queensryche. We played with Queensryche because a lot of people say we sound like Queensryche. You know, and
we get that too.
Great, yeah, right. So that could be that's a great venue to play. That's a great place to play. The sound is just like you're talking about. It's an indoor venue. It's kind of like the Keep It True place, like a big hangar or something, but the sound is just incredible there. And the people there are just incredible. And the cool thing about it is you play there once and the people remember you. And if you ever come back, you get twice as many people because being the kind of guys that you are, the personable kind of guys, you meet people and dude, people love that. It's like a community of metalheads, kind of like over there, but in the Christian realm. You know what I'm saying? But they don't just listen to Christian music; they listen to anything, you know. But it's just really. I'm going to talk to him about possibly getting you guys out there next year and who we would pair you guys up with, and I think it'd be great. I think it'd be a great show. I'm definitely going though to watch you guys. You know what I mean? So we'll try to work that out. You know? Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, man. I like asking this question because sometimes when I interview people, it's like, oh, you should have. Is there anything I didn't ask you guys that you would wish I would have asked you about?
I mean, we can hang out here for another 9 hours and just talk bullshit, you know.
Let's go, man. What time is it? Yeah, you know.
I don't know, man. I like the fact that you ask a lot of questions outside of the music.
No, Leo, didn't we come up with? We were thinking about this because we doing a lot of interviews. We think, what would be a cool question if somebody asked us? What was it? What was it? We were just talking about this the other day, dude. Well, okay. No, yeah.
A few moments later.
No. Go ahead. I got it.
Just before this podcast, I posted something on the Wings of Steel socials where I went, well, what's one cover song that you guys would love to hear us do if you could only choose one? And I haven't checked the comments yet, but I bet there's a lot of Queensryche probably in there. Oh, yeah. But, so I guess what I can ask you, you've heard us live. Just based on that and whatever you might have heard from our album, what do you think is a band that could cover a Wings of Steel song really well?
That's it.
Ooh.
Kind of flipping that one around. I think that's what we talked about, right, Parker?
Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah, that's a good one, and it definitely will have to be somebody that could sing way up here. Boy, that's a good one. That's a good question. Rudy Sarzo said that to me when I was interviewing him. You know Rudy Sarzo?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I interviewed him, and he's like, "That's a good question." You know, so I don't know who would I would say would cover you guys well. Christian or non-Christian?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Boy, that's a tough one, man. If there was a band called Recon, I don't know if you ever heard of Recon. They had this singer. His name was Vet, and he had a voice like you, bro, like way up here. And in fact, the guys in that band are the guys that I have my band Worldview with. You know, but I think those guys with Vet would have probably covered you guys pretty good. I don't know about the energy like you guys have and stuff, but that'd be a tough one to follow, man.
I'll
you
check
guys
that out then. Yeah, that's
cool. Yeah, dude, check him out. Yeah, and Vet, he really sounds like Tate, big time. You know, for me, I've been told I sound like Jeff Tate here and there, but not a Tate clone. I don't want to be a Jeff Tate clone. You know, I grew up listening to Queensryche, and to me, that was like, yeah, but I want to be known as being my own man, my own style, my own vocals.
Always.
You know, yeah. But
yeah,
probably Recon, man.
That's cool, dude. I would love to hear Dio sing some of your stuff, man.
Oh, yeah, right? Did you hear that cover I did of Dio?
Well, which one did you do?
Don't Talk to Strangers.
Ah, shit. Where's that?
Google it, right? Put YouTube. Look it up on YouTube.
On YouTube?
I did it with my band Worldview. Google Worldview covers Don't Talk to Strangers by Worldview. Bro.
Okay, I will do that.
Yeah. I've had several people say, dude, Dio would be proud of that one. You know the song, right? Don't Talk to Strangers?
Of course.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But it's on YouTube. Check it out, man. And you got to let me know what you think.
I got it right here. As soon as we
yeah, there you go.
I'll listen to it.
There you go. Yeah, then shoot me a text. Let me know what you think, man. It came out really good, man. But listen, guys, man, it was great hanging with you guys. Great messing with you, talking to you, and just so excited, man. I know you guys got a lot more great stuff coming up. I hope that we get to play with you guys again. Again, you guys are just a great bunch of guys, man. I'm really excited for what's going on in your band and just you guys in general. As men, don't ever break up what you guys got going and just keep pushing it hard, man. And the main thing is stay true to metal like you are, and stay true as friends, man. You know what I mean? But hang in there with me for just a minute, and we'll do the outro, and then we'll go. But for everybody watching, man, remember, this is Wings of Steel. You know what I do. I'll post all their links, their website, anything else they give me. And watch out for that little video clip that they're going to give me of the bomb shelter. But as you watch my podcast, remember to hit that like button. Remember to subscribe, and remember to share, man. And until then, is it wrong? Leo, Parker, thanks for being on the show. Long live metal, boys. So when you first started, how many, you know what I mean? Come on. I don't see me changing anything anytime soon.
Don't, brother.
Other than my shoes. This is what you would see. Yeah, I know.
I can see your screen from there. It's like, that's right.
Not, would you put some toothpaste on your teeth or something? What the heck is that?
It's a nicotine pouch. It keeps me awake.
I mean, I would say the music as a whole is written collaboratively.
So how did you guys started, and where did you? Yeah, it's just boring.